Okay, we're all emailed the minutes of the May 19th meeting. There it is. I had it down. Need a motion. Do you have any changes or additions to those minutes?
Make a motion to accept minutes as presented. Second. Thank you.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Thank you. Excuse me, I skipped the roll call, Phyllis, so officially we're all here. Okay.
I mean to do roll call.
Roll call.
Bill Carbach,
Here.
Ken Meyer, John Schultz.
I'm here.
I know.
Is that something new?
Yeah.
Yeah, we never really do that. So. Hey, I was approached by the North Adams Arts Council, who's located across the street here on Monroe Street. I don't know where they are. They're not happy with their location. They want to know if they could move into the old police station down by you. So I said, well, I'll bring it up. I have no problem with them using that until they find a permanent place.
I was going to say
I'm just worried that they're not going to look for a permanent place if they get a place, you know, so, because they don't have any money. They don't, you know, they're going to have enough money to pay the utilities. I don't think we charge them rent down there, but what do you guys think?
don't need that?
Not right now.
They don't?
And maybe that's a good approach, is we should
I think Parks
maybe
and Rec,
have Parks and Rec look at it, see what their board
I
thinks.
think Parks and Rec should utilize that building
Last-
because it's in a good facility for them.
Last time I talked to Larry, she said he was going to go down and take a look at it for the park board.
Yeah.
But I don't
I
think
think
it's
it's
a
a
Well,
good...
the other thing is I've got to look at the statute, because if you're going to rent it out, I think you have to do it at a fair market rental value.
We're not renting it. We're letting them use it. We're not renting it. If you don't collect rent, you're not renting it.
I'll take a look at the statute.
Well, I'd like to help Bob if we can, because they're on
Help who with it, Bob?
North Adams Arts Council.
How many members do they have?
Oh, not very many. Less than 10, I bet. You know, and they do some classes in there, but it's just
Mary's got a comment.
Oh, Mary, you got a comment?
It would be a great place for them, especially this summer, to maybe make some revenue, because they can pull from the pool. The kids walk there for the free meals, there's lunches, you know, served, and then the park's right there. Right now, they're having a hard time getting kids in because they have crossed the busy road, it's moldy, nothing is, they're cramped, and it's disorganized. I think they're going to reorganize and do some more advertising. Hopefully get enrollment up their students, but that would be a great area for them to pull from. I don't know.
Are they there during the day?
They could be. It depends on how they organize it. Like right now, they only teach one class, but they do rent out studio space as well to other artists. It could be more parking. It would be a safer environment. Kids could walk during the, you know, the summertime because they're going to the pool anyway. And, I mean, it would help them out, at least get a little more established, I think, temporarily, if you gave them a specific time limit.
Maybe do it for, like a 3-month period.
Yeah, we can do it maybe for a summer time, just a trial basis,
If
see how it works.
the park board isn't going to use it.
Yeah, if Park and Rec don't need it, you could go with a time
I
frame.
forget when they meet next. Pretty soon here, I
It's
think.
third Tuesday. of every
Third
month.
Monday?
Or is it Monday?
Third Monday,
Yeah.
which is the
Okay.
15th, so we got a couple weeks before they meet. Maybe we could approve it upon approval from the Parks Board. That, of course, they really don't have anything in that building, do they? It's not their, it's not a Parks Department building,
No, it's not.
it's just a city building.
When's the city pool open and close?
I think it
It
opens
opened.
Monday.
It's open.
It's open already?
I
Today?
thought it opened on Saturday.
It was supposed to have opened on the weekend, but it
Yeah.
didn't because of the weather.
Weather, yeah. So it's open now. I'd be in favor of helping them out myself. Would they be responsible for any utilities? The electric and gas and telephone, and nowadays they probably get by without a phone. They got, they cell phones, so. to have a water bill. Right now, they're across the street. It's just not good for them. The landlord doesn't fix it. He had water running into their building. Literally, water was running across the floor. So that's not good.
Water running across the floor. The landlord won't do anything about it.
They want out of there bad.
Well, no. That's bad.
And I think what's going to happen, or what's being thought about, I won't say what's going to happen is somehow the sculpture tour group, once this is over this weekend, is going to sit down and figure out where they're going. You know, they've grown so much, and maybe they take over the North Adams Arts Council or as an advisory group. So I hate to say it because I really don't know all the details about it, but that's a thought that's out there, which would be okay. North Adams Arts Council has already got a 5013C. They're a non-for-profit. It's already been approved. You hate to lose that. Once you lose it, you got to go through that whole thing again. So yeah. So
I'm more concerned about the block over.
yeah. Well, if there's enough water runs across the floor, maybe it'll fall down.
Yeah, but no, I have no problem with it.
With North Adams Arts Council?
Yeah.
Bill, you have any issues?
Nope.
It's a temporary trial, see how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, have it for maybe this summer. Hey, Mike.
I'd leave it.
Mike Mahan. Come
I'd
on,
leave
please.
it go.
And we would pay the utilities. Are you okay with that?
Yeah.
Who's paying the utilities?
North Adams Arts Council asked about using your old facility down on 3rd Street. Are you using that for anything at all?
The one on 3rd Street?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, do we need to turn that on, Nate? Do we need to turn that
Turn that mic
microphone
on.
At this time, it's not being used for anything at all.
Do you have anything in there? I mean, some
little
stuff,
bit.
storage?
A little bit of stuff.
Okay.
That's true.
Okay. What we're talking about is North Adams Arts Council, which is located across the street here on Monroe Street. They're out of money. They don't have any money. They don't have any place to go, and it's still a good organization. We think about maybe letting them use it for this summer down there to see how it works, and
Sure.
maybe we can go to something permanent then.
Possibly.
Okay.
But we can get that cleaned up. There are some things in there. I myself even have a couple of files.
It wouldn't surprise me if we tell the North Adams Arts Council that we're agreeable to this, that they'd want to move within the week.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, but if you need some help, maybe Jeremy can get you a couple people. Maybe not this week, but next week. This week's going to be pretty busy for him with that sculpture tour. Yeah, so, yeah. Yeah, he's not here, so he said he wouldn't be here for the Board of Works. So, is that okay with you guys?
Sure.
Okay.
So how do
Okay, that's
Scott, do
good.
you want to do the utilities or bills for us?
Utilities, you want to?
I have no idea what they run. I have no idea what their
Mike, do
finances
you remember
are.
the utilities down there? Isn't the water, isn't it like $80?
The water was $87. The electric, I'm not sure on that.
Okay.
We had a little problem. It was evidently toilet running or something like that. It was a higher bill than usual.
Okay.
And
Let's absorb it for this short period of time.
That's fine.
You know, and then once we get
Having
into
something in there is better than having it set in.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do we need a motion or not on that or not?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor, aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Good, thanks. Okay, Mike, why Mike's up here really is we're talking about a generator down at the new PD building on 7th Street. I'll just turn it over to Mike, and Nate's here to kind of assist with.
what we got were some proposals from two different places on a new generator that would be adequate for the new police department there. And they've submitted these proposals, and I'd like to give you all a copy of those. You can look those over right there. Not as bad as we thought initially, because I think they found out that we didn't need to use kilowatts itself to run this building should anything happen.
Great. There, we'll share. Here, Tim can help.
No, I can share.
No, we've got enough, I think it's just,
No, here we are.
it's stapled together is Rory's the one, is OC&H there.
He's got one there?
Oh, that's Mike. Tim Hartman. Okay, so you're saying one's 19,000, the comparable quote is 26,000?
Yes, sir.
Almost 20,000. No, sirs, John. Okay. Okay, how do we pay for it? Nate?
Right now, according to my notes with project budget, we're looking at about $16,769.03. That's what's unspent essentially on the sod and turf and planting and the rest, so we've been whittling away at that. Now, there is a grant that we've been awarded for this generator of $6,750.
So you're saying 6,760.
or and $50 is,
6,750.
yep, and that's coming from the EMA? Yeah, John August.
John August.
They pursued that
Emergency
grant, and that was
management.
the grant that they put together for us. Now, that's a reimbursement, essentially, so we need to at least get acquisition of the generator, even if we haven't installed it, then we can get reimbursed that money. So if we pay a portion of this money to Rorik for the generator, at least get it in hand, and then we can turn that information in, then we can get that $6,750 back.
So that
That'll help
comes off
cover
the
it.
19,460.
That'll come off of that 19,460.
You're looking at $12,700
Correct.
roughly.
So ultimately, we still, at the end of the day, even after buying the generator, it looks like we have just over $4,000 left over, but without that, we wouldn't be able to cover getting the entire
So
generator.
this is an automatic generator. It comes on automatically when we lose
Mhm.
power?
Yes.
We don't have to do anything, we'll have to flip the
No.
switch, don't do anything?
Correct.
This would be natural gas connected also, wouldn't be diesel, which is not a lot nicer.
I think the old station, we had a backup generator that you had to start.
Yes.
You know, somebody had to actually start it, flip
Full
the switch.
start
So if nobody's around,
Sit in the carport.
and a lot of times those
Didn't do that
engines,
good.
they don't work if you don't start them periodically.
Correct.
Not like my lawnmower.
Some of those automatically start periodically too, whether you're using them or not, just to keep them.
For the cycle, they'll have a timer on them. They
Speaking
can
of
do that.
the old backup, do we need it? And if not, is it worth anything?
That'd be a nearest question, as far as salvage or putting it up for sale.
Never been used. I can't recall how long we've
It's
had
been a
that.
long time.
Yes.
I know Dick Nowak was the chief when we did
Wow.
it.
Backup.
So
Get
it
that
goes
fuel
back
out of there
a
before
little-
we do
little
anything,
time.
probably.
Maybe I'll pull it and see if it starts.
Yeah.
You might want to take the city mechanic down there. And
Good
see if he
idea.
gets started. Yeah, really.
Good idea.
It's worth it. Just today, Jeremy was telling me that he had some equipment that he wanted to sell, so that might be one.
Put that into that surplus. Take sealed bids on that, let's say.
There's a procedure you follow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, if that's possible.
Okay, well, let's do that. Let's do that then.
Well, and that
So
would
we have
help
any issues
offset this.
with doing this generator? It sounds like we have the funds available.
We need it.
Yeah, it'd be a good
Got
thing.
grant goes against it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we don't,
Police are our first
right now,
response to anything.
that's
so-
$6,750. If we don't use that here in the next month or two, essentially, we end up forfeiting
Forfeit
that
it, huh?
grant.
We don't
So
take it.
we wouldn't take it, so
So if we don't take it, we lose it.
so it's nice that we still have that, and it doesn't have to come out of the operating funds to try to cover the difference. That was, I think, initially our concern, is that we'd have to split the difference between the building and the budget, so.
Nate, what was the balance in the project fund? How much is that?
I'm showing, and I'll give you a copy of this here.
And then will that grant money come to me or Greg or?
Carla Marbaugh has that, so she would
Okay.
be the one that would be getting that.
Okay. Do you know when?
No.
I think we probably have to submit,
Have that generator.
we have to probably submit a bill to her that we bought the generator,
Gotcha.
and then she reimburses
Number
it.
and other
Gotcha.
information. Then she can request reimbursement.
Okay.
So there's going to be a lag as far as getting that money. So that's going to be the only issue, is that because there's a difference here of So $2,700, there may be a gap between,
Okay, so then
Paying
will
for
I
that.
take it out of the police department's budget for the time being, because I don't want to short the general obligation bond?
yeah, I mean, that'll be the only issue, is that you have to maybe cull it out of theirs and then try to reimburse them when you get the check back from Carlin. So as long as that's all right, you wouldn't be able to essentially reimburse the building bond and put it in that deposit. So
Okay.
just so that you know where those expenses are, because we're coming down to the last few $100s essentially, is the way it feels. So we're just trying to take the opportunity.
Is that okay with everybody? Go ahead and do that.
Make a motion that we approve going with Warwick Electric on the backup generator.
Second. Unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to get Art up here first before we go to your contract, Nate. Art, if you would, please. This is Art Hill. Art's got an event that he just wants to notify us on, really.
Yes, since you guys are so busy this coming weekend,
It will be.
I was talking with Mike, and he said I probably should say something to you guys. We have what we call Cannonball Run. We have it every year. We've had it for probably now 7 years.
When you say we, Art, you're representing what
I
group?
represent the group called Messiah's Mixtapes. We're a ministry out of Common Ground Church.
Right.
And we were meeting at the church, running it from there, and then we ended up moving to Cannon Park. And it's called Cannonball Run, and we've always put it together with the Cannon Park.
When I first heard about this, what the heck is this, you know? And then when they told me Art was involved, and then my brain kicked in finally. Oh yeah, they do that all the
Tell us what it
time.
is, because
Well, we are a motorcycle ministry, and what we do is we actively go out and help people. The money we raise, all of it goes back out. So we have an account that at the bank that is what do you call it, non-taxable. It's totally goes in and out. And what we do is we raise funds and then we help people out. We had sent a bunch of money down to Katrina. We collected for that. All of that went down to Katrina. We had a house fire out south of town. Gentlemen lost their house. We raised over $3,000 for them and handed it to them within a week. So it just kept them going. We go out, we clean gutters. We go up to Fort Wayne to help the missions. We help the homeless downtown. So we're involved in a lot. We stay out of sight a lot, but try to stay out of trouble. This is a ride. We sponsor a ride every year. We have 2 events. We do a camp out and we do a ride. The ride this year is going from here down Fort Recovery. We're touring the museum, and then we're coming back to Cannon Park, and we'll have a band, a 2-man band, and have food there. So
They have reserved Cannon Park, Legion Park, through the Parks Board. So they went through the proper channels of getting permission, and they basically are renting that park for that.
And the reason I was bringing it before you is because we've got so much going on with all the Fleetwood stuff. And I work there, and I realize how much you've got. We just want to get out of town. And we're going out past Belmont, and I know it's going to be backed up with traffic. So I went to the police department and informed them of it. And they said, well, I ought to talk to you guys and tell you that it is happening. So it's been in the works for months and months. But
how
I
many
asked
riders do
them
you
if-
anticipate?
what's that?
How many riders do you anticipate?
Normally we have 30 and upwards, and depending on rain, we don't know where it's going to be. So it could be 30, it could be 100. It all depends on how people are feeling and stuff like that. So, I had asked the police if they would just help us through the lights getting out of town because of all the traffic of coaches and everything, and if they're able to, they said they would. And at this point, I just wanted you guys to be aware that it was happening, and I didn't want you to be surprised. So, because like I said, we don't know how many are coming. So,
What day is this?
this is Saturday.
Saturday. This coming Saturday,
Yeah.
June
And-
6th.
June 6th. We start around 8:30, and the ride actually pulls out from Oak Street at 10 o'clock sharp. and we will have an hour down to Fort Recovery, an hour at the museum for a tour, and then we'll have an hour back. So we'll be coming back in town up 27 at 1 o'clock.
So you're assembling at Legion Park or at Cannon
At
Park?
Legion Park.
That's where you assemble, and then
Yep.
you leave there.
We'll come out on the Mercer,
On the Mercer and then go.
come up to 224 and go right, and
Oh,
and go out past Belmont and go out to 49, I believe, to go south.
okay,
So it's a direct route down.
yeah. Okay.
And if you want a flyer, I have.
Like I said, they're given permission from the park, so it's just like informing us of the event. So we're not surprised if somebody brings it. It surprised me when I first saw it, and then and when I heard Art's name was involved in it, it all made.
I go by Papa Doc, that's my biker name, so a lot of times people won't recognize that when they see this, so.
I think we need to make sure Mike and the police force is comfortable with everything now.
I
All right.
think we are. I think they're going to need us minimally actually during this, just to get out, like I said, when need be. But you will be in a group at one time.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes, and we do have lockers, so we do, if we don't have police escort, we do book it.
I'm sorry?
We do have lockers that try to keep us safe as we do.
I said, Second Street's going to be open in the morning Saturday. So, yeah, I don't think they're going to close that till evening Saturday, so you can just come right up Second Street.
Right. Well, my main concern is getting through those intersections right up there.
Yeah.
Second Street, Monroe Street, and out past the school.
Yeah, well, good, good.
Have fun.
Yeah, appreciate your help. Thank you
Thank
for
you very
informing
much.
us. Okay. Pray for good weather. Okay, we'll go back to Nate. This is about chloride contract. That's what I got you down for.
All right, well, I've got those here. As you may know, part of our NPDES permit, they've added a chloride limit to the wastewater treatment plant. During our investigation over the last few months, it appears that about 60% of the salts or chlorides that we're getting into our wastewater stream are coming from our water treatment plants. So how we want to address that moving forward, try to keep our costs low. We want to bring in a firm that specializes in water treatment system design, calibration, and also kind of some recommendations, master planning. So we've contacted two firms, Jones & Henry Engineering, and we've got Midwestern Engineers Incorporated. Water, wastewater, myself, the mayor, and Dan sat down with both firms, reviewed some of our needs, desires over the next year, what we need to have in this scope, essentially the study. That's what we need to submit to IDEM here at the end of the year. Both firms put together a large scope of work and resume, as you can see here. Midwestern's is probably 75 pages long. But Jones & Henry, their study recommendation was for $34,000 with an additional $24,000 for field monitoring, sampling, and testing. That is essentially looking at our collection system with salts and chlorides from industrial operators, residential neighborhoods, and other locations that we can find. Midwestern Engineers is focusing primarily on the study and the feasibility options from our plans, and they're recommending a study phase only of $19,600. So with that, there's about $14,400 difference between the two. Talking to Dan, I think we're comfortable recommending that we move forward with Midwestern on this service. It'll get us what we need to do to move forward, put some plans together going over the next 4 years. We have 4 years and 6 months essentially to implement something to try to achieve that.
So
That's our
IDEM,
situation.
IDEM basically gave us a timeline, and this is the first step in that timeline. So, sounds like, talking with Midwestern Engineers, who I think that's who Nate's recommending here, that they are a firm that works a lot with smaller communities like Decatur. They're not the big firms that go up to Fort Wayne, Indianapolis, Muncie, things like that. So heard some good things about them from other communities, and I'd be comfortable with hiring them to move forward. How do we pay for this, Nate? Is
Well,
it?
I don't know that we decided exactly how to split this. I mean, the issue we had is it's master planning and studies for the water department, which is why that we're involved here, but it's also a permit from the wastewater side. So really, essentially, only for compliance on the wastewater, it's our own, and that's the situation.
Well, so we could justify it's really splitting the cost between the two.
We could split it, you could split it 50-50 essentially, because really the benefit's going both ways.
Yeah. We can sit down with Dan and figure that out, but
I guess that kind of depends one way or the other how we do that. The contract that you're concerned about.
Is this something that's going to ultimately lead, or are you working on a more global type of plan for the water department? Because there's a lot of issues kind of out there on the horizon, and it's probably going to be something that you're going to also have to look at from the standpoint of your rates.
This is the first step in that. Essentially what this will outline is the series of projects, scoring and cost estimating of projects that will help us achieve that limit. And then what we'll end up doing then is moving forward and saying, okay, here's what we have to do minimum to comply with this rule. But here is the situation we're looking at over the next 10 or 20 years from a water utility standpoint. What do we need to do? And this may be cost effective today, but it's not going to achieve your goals for the next 10 years. And so this is going to give us ultimately, this is the water department tool. So if I were going to make a case, I'd say it's probably 100% water expense, but I totally understand splitting this because it's coming through a different permit from the state, and ultimately it's a city issue, which is why we sat down with both departments and tried to work it together as part of making selections. So I think that's a good thing for us.
so I think we should move forward. I don't think we don't have much choice. We got to move
Right now,
forward
we're
with
going to have to
IDEM.
move forward.
It's part of our. It's part of our permit, so we have to address it. Okay.
Make a motion?
To approve Midwestern Engineers.
Yes.
Second.
Motion is carried unanimously. Thanks, Nate. Did you need a copy of this, Tim, or you just need probably a copy of the contract?
Yeah.
Nate, you need to get some kind of a contract, or do you have that? Is it in here?
All part of it.
Is it in here?
I don't know if he gave you a signature page for this, the proposal. If not, I will get you one. Along the rail, I'll approve it.
See.
I'll get you a contract, and I'm sure
All right. Well, just make sure you get it to Phyllis. She's the, yeah.
Sure, we'll do.
See it in there, Phil. Okay, thanks. CenturyLink parking. We talked about this at the last meeting.
Looks like you did your own study.
Takes 40 seconds more we're talking about. But I did talk to Mike Downing over at CenturyLink. And we can. He said he'd be more than happy to do whatever we want him to do. If we want him to take a poll or a survey, he'd be more than happy to do that. If we want to continue to look at a permit process, we can do that. Myself, I don't think those people are going to walk that extra time.
I don't think we need to. I think that as long as CenturyLink as a company is comfortable with their employees parking where they're at now, they feel, they need to be obligated to provide a safe walking path for their employees to get into work. And if they're comfortable with it, then
Yeah. I did look at the sidewalks, the young lady was here last meeting, talking about that. Really, there's only one bad sidewalk, and that's the last one as you head north to the Elks parking lot. That last property, that sidewalk is pretty bad. The rest of them are pretty good shape, really.
Mike called me as well. He and I have had a good business relationship, and he called his employees lazy. He was very unhappy that she came to represent herself as CenturyLink.
And I corrected him on that, Mike. I told Mike, she was emphatic about saying she was not
And
representing.
I told him she was polite.
Yeah.
She just
Yeah.
came and gave a concern. But I also told Mike that I'd love if CenturyLink had 10 50 or 100 more employees over there, and to keep us, in the conversation, if there is something the city can do to help, we want to help in any way.
Yeah, I need to clarify, but somebody told me that they were bringing 80 more people into that building.
Well, if that's the case, then we have a problem.
They did it already?
Greg said that.
They've already done it, or they're going to?
They cleaned out a bunch of old analog stuff and made workstations. I think that's what Greg said that.
So that's been there then. So we've already seen the impact of that parking right now. Okay.
Basically, we had another 80, that would have been
Yeah, then that got my attention. I was
The
getting very...
impression I got from Mike is he doesn't see a problem.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, it's just like with the snow. That's a lost part, because when many of us sat here were kids, the first thing you did in the morning was go out and shovel the sidewalk before you went to school.
Kids, I do that now.
But over Decatur, I try to walk in the winter. You can't, because the sidewalk. Walk in the street, or I sign up with Anytime Fitness, walk on treadmill. Because very few sidewalks are shown.
We used to hang around in the corner right down here. When the car came around the corner, you get out in the street and hang onto the bumper. And
Oh, yeah.
it's not very safe nowadays.
I think fun.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds to me that Mike is not interested in securing another parking lot for his employees.
Yeah. He doesn't see a need.
Again,
for it.
I think that
Matt, is that why more I told you?
needs to have their own snow blower and a janitorial person that goes out and clears those sidewalks.
Exactly.
That's their problem, it's not...
I do think though that we ought to at least keep open, possibly, we've got a lot of parking over there that we've now freed up since we've moved City Hall, that go back to some of those umpteen versions that were presented to downtown merchants.
Yeah, pull them
We're
up.
talking-
Bill still got that study, I think, don't you, Bill?
Yeah. No, I don't have it.
I might have.
I gave it to you.
No. I got it somewhere.
We're talking about City Hall.
Find it on January 1st.
Yeah.
Has anybody showed any interest yet?
No. We have not received any proposals on City Hall. We're getting off that subject, I want to talk about that next. But there's roughly 70 parking spots over there. I may be off a few, but it's right around 70, so. But I've never seen it full, really, since we've moved out. I've not seen that parking lot full.
How
There's a
many
lot of
parking
times in
places did we consume over there?
we probably had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We probably had 10, 12.
But that back lot, the
Yeah.
entire lot, would have been open.
Yeah.
That's the lot I initially, when I started the whole project out, I said, let's sell that lot.
Excuse me.
And
and
that
that's what
was...
Burry, Herman, and Miller and Fifth Third
Yep.
were very interested in
Yep.
buying a parking
Yep.
park.
I think you could easily rent that out.
Right. And it
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
affect...
think maybe we will come back to the subject again once we get further into the stellar and further we get into the housing that's being proposed, because that may change the whole thing there, Then I think we'll have to address it again. So, okay, we'll just go on, which brings us up to the old City Hall. We had no proposals were received. Should we announce something at the council meeting, Tim?
Yeah,
That
you
says
can
that?
announce that the bid period has expired as advertised, and so at this point, you can still accept the bid, but if one came forward, but in the meantime, you now have some options available to you that you didn't previously. And the first is you can either list it through a broker and attempt to sell it as you would a normal listing, under a normal listing agreement, or you could decide to auction it off, in which case then you would enter into an agreement with an auctioneer and you would establish a date and it would be auctioned. I have talked to, or I didn't talk, but a couple of local auctioneers and brokers have called me just to say that, if the city went that direction, they certainly would be interested in helping. So, I don't know what your intent
Then you
is.
pick one.
Well, then you would probably talk to them and just see what they're willing to do in the way of the commission.
cost.
Maybe overheard you talk before, we talked about the police station.
Yes, I'm sorry, I'll bring up the deal on that real quick before we go to City Hall. North Adams Arts Council is located right across the street here on Monroe Street. The conditions of that building are getting worse and worse. North Adams Arts Council has really no funds, if any, very little, and they asked permission to use the old police station on 3rd Street. And so the Board of Works said, okay, hey, we'll try it on a trial basis just for the next 3 months through the summer, see how that goes, and then we'll address it again a little later. So that's kind of
Mary highly endorsed it as well, saying that the...
Are you a member of the Arts Council, North Adams Arts Council?
My daughter goes to
Oh,
it.
okay.
I'd like to be more involved.
That was it, being right there at the pool, they may be able to tie some kids' activities into arts.
Sitting there empty.
Yeah, right now. Yeah.
Well,
That's what Mike said. There's a few things in there that
Any other
can be
ideas
gotten
for
out of
the
it.
old PD? Anybody?
Well, I had thought originally, and I talked to Jerry Wetter about it, community corrections. That's probably not big enough space for them. But they're still,
Yeah, and that's, yeah.
well, he just maybe even
No, I haven't. Not about that.
But I wondered, I said, well, have you thought about the old city hall? If we're committed to selling it, that's one thing, but
I think they want to put something all on one floor. It's kind of what Ian Gilbert
Avoid the
told me.
handicap
Yeah,
issues.
yeah. I think they want everything on one floor. So, for right now, we're going to allow the North Adams Arts Council to use the old police station, and then we'll revisit it at the end of 3 months and see if it's a permanent thing or not. So, back to City Hall then. So we can choose these realtors that are here. They have agreements that they split commissions, right? If one of them has it listed, the other one can still sell it, right?
If it's a multiple listing agreement,
Yeah.
it's not an exclusive listing. Then
Well,
if one realtor brings the buyer to the table, and we've entered into a listing agreement with the seller, then they typically split the commission.
Can we just notify all of our local realtors?
Well, you either have to list it through a broker, or you have to decide to auction it off, in which case, so you can contact the brokers and give them an opportunity to submit proposals that you can consider.
Coming up here for something, I forget
You
what.
got multiple,
You deal with real estate transactions,
Yeah.
obviously, regularly. Would one of them be willing to take a less of a commission
sometimes they will.
to get the
the
listing?
benefit of having actually listed is that now they're out there working.
They're actually trying to market the building.
We got nobody marketing the building for it.
Right.
I think we should try that for 3 months.
Right. And if we, and
So
if,
the auction should
and
always be,
if listed with a local realtor, then we can sell it for any price? Or does it
No,
have to be within that?
you're still limited in terms of what you can sell it
It'll
for.
have to be within the parameters of the...
80%
Appraised value?
appraisals.
Mary, do you have a comment?
Oh, I was going to ask, because the bid is expired, but you can still accept bids, I was going to ask if it fell underneath the 80%, if that would even be considered.
The only way you have to, there is a process, you have to get at least 90%, and if it's below that, then you have to go through some additional steps. You have to have a public hearing. So it's not that you can't do it, it's just that there's more to it than, you can't just accept it outright.
So what, we'll bring that up at the council meeting, but it's just for food for thought that,
But we still are in a position, the mayor or the council, or who picks the realtor?
Well, I think what you would do is probably, and I'll have to look at the statute, I don't think the statute gives you any direction on that, so I think it's a matter of, it's a service you can, it's more a request of proposals. It's kind of where you just ask for their background, their experience, or whatever, and, you narrow it down to probably 3, and then you can talk to them and just kind of negotiate with them to determine what they're willing to do and then select one. I'm
It's
guessing...
not as easy as saying, okay, realtors, we're putting this up for sale, go out.
No.
Get us some offers, huh?
No.
What's a good way to find out which realtor has the most community spirit and willingness to give back to
Well-
the community?
We're in the middle of a capital campaign for Stellar, you know, and this could backfire on us too, you know. I don't know.
Tim,
Yeah.
if we put it up for auction, can we put
A minimum?
that we'll sell for?
Yeah, you...
You can reserve
That's
it.
You know what I'm saying,
in
Cam?
Well, I was going to say, why don't we wait until you secure the
Yeah,
information?
yeah. The commitments, good
Yeah,
commitments.
you can definitely in the...
Whoever's the highest is.
In the agreement
That's
with
what
the
I'd do.
auctioneer, you can set terms and conditions under which it would be auctioned.
Okay.
Yeah, John, if you want to wait, we can.
Well,
Is
we only
that
need a
a
couple
Board of-
more weeks, I'm
Board of Works
thinking.
function or a council function?
That's the council, I think, is a decision, right? Okay.
Well,
If you
Wanna
did
make
it
sure we
on
go by
Board
all
of
the right
Works, it'd be a
rules.
lot easier.
yeah, actually, I'll have to look at the statute, but typically the Board of Works is the executive body, so
Right.
it would enter into the agreement, so. But I would recommend that council weigh in on it, so.
Well, yeah.
Well, we wanna
there's
be
no problem with that.
Upfront
but
with
I'm just-
people.
Right.
We want to be public about it, you know?
Yeah, it's
Is
not,
there a certain time period that we have to do this by? Or can we do it whenever we want?
I'll look at the statute. I don't think there's a time frame.
Because if we can wait a while, it sounds like maybe we should wait a while. For some obvious reasons.
I mean, the other option is you can go through the bidding process again. You can renew that and start that over again, but
The bidding process, though, then we're tied to the appraised value.
Yeah, you're
Can't
still-
remember.
if, and I think after a year, you may have to have
58,000, I
a,
think, was the...
yeah, if you don't get anything,
I'd like
then
to
after a
know.
year, you can, I'll look at the statute and I can
We're still
kinda lay
paying
that
some
out
utilities?
clearly
Yeah,
next time.
yeah. I go in there at least 1 or 2 times a week and just kind of walk through, make sure the water's leaking somewhere. I think Roger goes in there once a week.
You have to go through the bidding process to get to this next
Price people
portion
interested,
where
they
in the
just want the
statute that
price.
allows you these other options.
We've went through the bidding process already, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So we're at the point where we can
Mhm.
exercise these other options if we wish.
You explain that at the council meeting, we'll move forward.
Okay.
Good. Second floor of City Hall, second floor of this building. Nate, I believe, was involved a little bit with this. We asked Martin Ryder just to go through and give a general idea of what it would cost to fix up upstairs, what it would cost. We're talking roughly $600,000 to redo City Hall. I guess the question is, do we want to rent it out? Community Corrections is interested in it. You know, I have no idea what kind of rent to tell them it's going to be.
They're interested, but are there people who make the decisions for them?
Well, I don't know. I think they kind of skirted that issue. They've not asked the county.
Right.
And if I was county, I'd say no.
Absolutely.
That's what I'd do if I was the
think they would
county.
too.
But
And I would rather see something more complimentary to what the
City
city's
Hall.
doing.
Did you talk to one of those guys recently?
no, to Ian. You mean Ian? No, I haven't. Oh, it's been a good month ago.
You're still interested in that?
Yeah, he sent me an email last week, and I didn't realize it, but Martin Riley had sent quotation to Nate. I didn't realize Nate had that quotation, and then they, yeah, so that's what I.
When and where do we have 600,000?
What? That's how much it was?
600,000 to fix that up.
What happened to 250?
It's to me, when I heard the 600, that made my decision pretty easy that we don't have 250. I mean, you'll probably get it back over a period of
A
5
long
to 10
period.
years, but it's coming up with the initial $600,000, which we do not have, with Stellar coming on and the commitments we've already made. You know,
Table it, let it.
Yeah.
Because even at that, if we get it, we're going to have to find renters and get those renters to sign long-term leases so that we can at least say, you know, we got to be businessmen and
Yeah.
say, are we going to recover?
This is how we're going to pay for it. And
And you can't just rent it for any price, you have to get it actually appraised for the appraised rental value. You have to get 2 appraisals, and you take 90% of
Who
that.
really does all this stuff? Lawyers?
No, I don't know who
It's lawyers.
puts this into the law, but
So we can't,
you can't just set a price.
It was 600,000, wasn't it, Nate? Isn't that what they told us?
Yeah, I mean,
It was a little less than that, but there's some other
There, you
items.
still gotta take all your soft costs into it, because it's a whole other project, it's potentially another bond issue if you're doing that route. You gotta pay for an architect to design it.
So we don't have that money. So to me, it
Bid.
answered our question, really. So-
Thank you.
Well, in case somebody says something
answered our
to
question.
you, we have at least looked at it. Right now, we don't think we can
you have a
afford it.
breakdown, they tell you,
Yeah, they do.
There's an itemized breakdown and based off that. Yeah, I can do that.
I'm just curious,
It varies significantly based on the project. So this was specific to their design concept for what construction needs.
pretty good shape up there.
It is in good shape, but not finishing it out. Pass that around.
But you
Kind
gotta
of gives you
remember,
an
too,
idea.
that they can read this for 3 times of what
I think
we
that's
spent.
what the 50,000.
Sure, they'd love to do it for 600 or 700,
Usable space.
but
Get the
this would be half the cost.
Hey, you might make a copy of that one page.
Email it.
Okay, that's
I'll
fine.
email that out to
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah, yeah. This is what they sent me, and I think it's the same thing they sent you, Nate.
I'll see if
But on the flip side, I don't want to just say, okay, we can't afford it, so we're not going to do it for the next 10 years.
I don't think you need to use it. I think it's a city structure, and I think the city should be the first one to use it. It's not costing us anything. We've accomplished what we want. We're not in the marketing field. I mean, we don't need to rent it out. We don't need that revenue.
We don't need the revenue.
No, not at all.
Understand.
Yeah, I think
It's there, though, if we want to expand.
Exactly, and it should be a city function first. It shouldn't be that we shouldn't need to open it up for somebody else, county or private or whatever. It's a city. It's a city building, and if we need the revenue, then that's a totally different story. But if we don't need the revenue, it's not hurting a thing up there.
Well, it's not only needing the revenue, but it's the cost that you have to put into it to
Exactly,
generate revenue.
exactly.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're not going to see any revenue
Nope.
for probably 5 to 10 years
If we
until you
would've done all
recoup that
this in our
upfront
initial
cost.
bond,
Yeah,
it would have been one thing,
Yeah.
because it would have been done.
Right.
we saw what we needed. That's what you bonded.
And we
and
knew all
that's-
we could, that's all we could.
That answer,
bond.
is that what you want, Cam, is a copy of that? Nate, I think it's just that one page.
We got it.
That, just send them that, unless, well, give them the whole thing. I think there's 8 pages total. The other 7 pages support this first page.
Now, if they want to put the cost, that might be
yeah,
different.
$250,000 in HVAC and electrical work. That's
Yeah,
But
they did.
remember, they
Right
said
out,
they
a
could
quarter
make
of a
this
million.
building great for $3 million. We didn't spend $3 million. We told them, okay, give us another proposal. That was, this is what we can afford.
There was what we needed.
That's exactly.
Yeah, that 3 million might have included the upstairs.
Okay.
We didn't need that.
So anyhow, I just wanted to bring it up in case anybody said something to you guys, so that's good.
Thank you, John.
One other thing we had was, and I don't mean to put Cam on the spot here, but it will. Somebody contacted Melissa about maybe sprucing up the entrance into City Hall. We've done a great job of redoing this, and I'm very proud of it, and it looks nice, but do we need some, like, flower urns out front, a couple benches, something like that? What's your thought?
Sure, what's Main Street?
What's Main Street
proposal?
say?
Well,
Or the
I think
streetscape?
Main Street is, Melissa's the one that brought this to my attention. And, yeah, they're in favor of it, but they don't have any money, so, you know,
Where's
now
this
we're
put Cam
talking.
on the spot?
Well, because
Just
some
say,
of his
this is
relations
just at Main
are the ones
Street.
kind of asked Melissa, and I apologize, Cam, I should have let you know that, but,
Isn't that,
I'm on the Main Street board and they didn't
they
talk
never
about
brought it up?
Uh-uh.
No.
No.
well, I think that came with
Maybe it was
Well,
from
when was
Delaware.
your last meeting? Was last night? This just happened today,
Oh, okay.
so I
there an
think,
offer that was included with that?
not that Melissa told me, just some, you know,
Where's Melissa?
she's not here yet.
She will be. I mean, yes, I'd like it to look even nicer.
Will some plants out front do that, some benches, well that, we gotta make sure that there's room for that too, we don't wanna just crowd things in, I don't think.
What do
That,
with Charlie's?
No, it's big
One
for
of
it.
Charlie's things.
That was gonna be
He
free.
wanted,
Oh, really?
family wanted a donation
Well.
to the city.
And what are his memorials? It was
Right.
Charlie's
downtown
Memorial for
revitalization.
downtown revitalization,
Yeah.
that's what I contributed to today.
Me too.
But I think if we got a recommendation of Main Street, sure, that's where all these things should go.
When do they meet? You meet every 2 weeks? You won't meet for another 2 weeks then, will you?
Well, unless they change it, no, it's once a month.
Once a month?
Just like the benches in the park. That's their recommendation, sure. I mean,
And that's
we've
how I
asked them to
approach
come up
that,
with these
Matt.
recommendations.
Recommendations.
But I mean,
I
they
thought
come
the
up with
benches were,
recommendations, Matt, but
yeah.
the money, each one of the benches is $900.
Yeah.
give me 5 minutes.
Yeah, go
I
ahead,
don't
go
know
ahead,
what the
that's fine.
furnace would cost, but I mean,
This is the last item I have on the agenda, so take your
you know,
time.
anybody
With
can
Matt.
come up with suggestions, but there's always got to be a financial cost, and do we just keep saying that was a good idea? we'll
Cam's
say,
finding
well,
out
it's a
that
good
his
idea,
mother
we'll
is
say,
gonna put her money where her mouth is.
And
This would look nice, and we'll pay for
And
it.
is that not what I say? I love those people that have ideas and have a responsible means of raising the money, or they want to
He's
donate.
assuming they're gonna pay for it, but he's verifying.
But I would like to see every store down here thrive and have a brand new building.
In a positive.
But I can't afford to buy it for you, I'm sorry.
I know what you're saying.
But some of those funds from Charlie's deal could go towards something like that, like Kenny said, and just put some notoriety out there.
Yeah.
Plaque or something.
Yeah, sure.
That, you know.
To answer the question about the benches across the street in the unnamed park,
I mean the Schultz Park.
that's not that.
When is that going to be announced?
Phyllis, do you know? When is
That's
it?
the 27th.
27th.
It's going to be on a Saturday from 1 to 3.
They've notified me that I won.
Yeah, but it's,
They did?
That's cute, I do that.
It took them a week to tell me what the name was. I had to-
they told you?
Yeah.
You weren't supposed to tell you.
I don't know who named it.
To clarify, the recommendation was for pots and flowers that would be given to the city.
Oh,
I'm all in favor of that.
I am too. That's fine. We can do that. We can do that for the weekend when we have all these people coming down. It'd kind of be nice to. And well, I was told that they have these available over here at the granary. So
Good.
and they weren't real expensive. I didn't think $35-50 each or something. So we're looking at 2 of them, maybe 3.
So they'll be prepared and planted and posted.
Since we're speaking of the aesthetics of the outside of this building, there's 2
Poles.
holes. Can those go away?
Yeah. I asked Jeremy about that. There's one right here on Monroe Street. You're
Yeah,
talking.
both on Monroe
Yeah.
Street. There were old street signs or
Yeah, something.
parking signs.
Parking
something.
meters or something.
The ones
The
that-
poles are, eventually, this maybe be next year or year after, we should replace that concrete through the whole north side of the building. It should be, but.
So in the meantime, can the poles be taken
Sure.
out?
The answer to that, yes. In fact, I said something to Jeremy a month ago. I'm surprised he did. He probably got busy.
Yeah,
Just cut it off at ground level. Make sure nothing's protruding.
I don't think anybody's been on them for years.
So I don't know. I think you're right. Nobody used that sidewalk for years, really, till we came.
And the metal access to whatever, doesn't seem very safe. My boys like to jump on it when we're walking.
It rattles. I'll tell you, when I'm sitting in the office.
That's the first thing no
if I
one
doze
can do is
off, they
jump
wake
on
me
that
up.
cover.
There used to be a coal chute that was over there, and when you walk
The
across
middle
it,
on the sidewalk.
yeah.
Okay.
Like a
They're all over the place.
Yes, they were.
Was it right outside your office or something?
Mhm.
Okay.
I was joking when I said I dozed off. Nobody caught that.
I was in his office the other day, and a skateboarder went over. It sounded like a truck was right out the window.
I'm proud of this building, really. It's a nice building.
Very
I'm
nice.
very happy about how it turned out.
Is there
Did we release all the money to
Is there
them?
any way we can keep this
Yes.
open
Mullen camps are paid.
during some of these events this Saturday, Friday?
Well, Friday you'll be open, but like Saturday?
Well, and you're gonna leave the...
Friday, we're
lobby
gonna,
for
I
restrooms.
reckon, we were gonna leave the lobby open so the restrooms can be used. There'll be a sign out front that says restrooms with an arrow.
Did we get them fixed enough?
Huh?
Did we get them fixed enough that we can use them?
The restrooms? Yeah, I think.
I will have
You
to ask
might
Dan
want
if
to
they ever got that
check on that.
completed.
They were backing up.
Or Nate, do you know? You don't know? Okay.
Yeah, Mike
Yeah,
gave us the
they were-
Roger.
we were having some
backing up,
issues
and we
with it.
needed to possibly even go down on
Yeah, I
bottom
think they were
floor
supposed to
break
run
Hey,
the
Nate.
pipe.
Could you go outside real quick and look at the bottom plate on one of the doors coming in? Yeah, yeah. I think it's, something's broke loose there. We need to get that fixed.
Well,
He
you can,
called it a sill plate. I don't know if that's what that's called, but
are you talking the entrance that goes out where Sharon Rogers' office is?
no,
That door?
no. The main door coming in here.
Oh.
The bottom
That-
plates kind of come loose.
Oh, it
Like a
did?
rivet got broke or
Well, they were
something.
supposed to cover, because you could see the outside,
Daylight.
the daylight underneath the one entrance door, but I don't know about the front, these other front ones.
Weather stripping on that one door,
Oh, it's-
on the rivets is full.
I'll-
So who can fix that for us?
We can put that on the list for them to repair. I think it's just was too long, the doors run and go from.
So, will you contact them for us, Nate, please?
I think
Alright.
they were supposed to check in on the other entrance door too, because you can see daylight underneath them. They were supposed to check in on that.
Back to what?
Back to the plants out front.
Oh, okay.
Should, do you want a motion to approve?
Yeah, yeah, we'll take it out of,
No, I mean for Cam's family to...
sure, we're not spending any money, so that's fine, hell yeah. If we have to spend some money, we can take it out of the council fund.
If there's any left.
You're so liberal with their money.
Well, we are with his as well.
I just make sure I
We're
don't,
two-way streets, yeah.
I just make sure I don't have any money, so.
Is Bill seconded, or you?
Yeah, I will, I'll second
Okay.
that.
Kent, who
That's
made
good,
that?
Ken.
I made a motion that if
Approve
his
it.
family is willing to...
If
do
you don't
something
mind,
with it.
Phyllis, or you want me to do that in the morning, just make sure we contact, the granary, I suppose, is that who we contact?
They'll take care of it, his mama.
Okay.
We don't need to do anything.
Cam's in charge of it.
Thanks, Cam.
Thank you, yeah, pass it on.
I think sometimes you lose some of the information when you go from this step to that step, this person to that person, and pretty soon it's, you know, don't get all of the information, so, thank you. I don't have anything else.
Back to the
Les
bath-
had something, but I told him I wouldn't need him until 7 or 7:15,
Back to the
and I can't
bathrooms.
remember what Les wanted.
Back to the bathrooms, the problem we have with the front bathrooms is there's not I don't know if you've heard this, but Roger was telling me about it, there's not a good flow down below.
Oh, yeah, you're talking about the plumbing underneath that takes it to the sewer.
Exactly. We can fix it ourselves as a city, but last week I think they plugged up while
Was it
we were
last
here. Yeah. So. we
Yeah,
wanna
they've
make-
had issues, off and on.
All the festivals and stuff are coming.
Well,
They're
we
coming.
want to make sure nobody
Right.
Melissa, up front,
Right.
please.
nobody plugs it up and then makes more of a mess
Right.
just by using it. So I'm just want to make sure
No rest for
everybody's
you,
good,
Melissa.
because there's plenty of restrooms around. Just send
Well,
everybody
there's
over to
not,
Benny's.
really. Some people won't go in there. You and I aren't bashful, but,
She's ready for you, John.
what do we want from her?
Uh-oh.
We okayed the
We
pot.
okayed the pots or urns out front, so,
Up to a certain amount,
I think 2 or 3.
Well,
No,
$100.
Oh,
being donated.
$0.
we're being donated.
Very kind.
good.
Probably later I should send the thank you note too.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Send it to Cam. No, so I just wanted you to know that. Or something else I think we were going to ask Melissa. I can't remember.
Yeah, what was it?
Yeah.
It's
Can't
on
find
the
it.
agenda, man, Rattle.
Generator, it wasn't that. It wasn't CenturyLink parking. It wasn't police station, chlorides. wasn't
So it's
second
generated.
floor of City Hall.
Maybe it was about the bathrooms being open?
We have been having issues with our bathrooms up front. Not working.
Are we still having problems with it?
The last time I knew that
One was 26, the other was 19.
meeting,
Okay, okay.
Not August, it's
Yeah, that's the last I remember it. Okay. Well, we're just wondering about if they're going to be using them for the events. If we, I don't know. Maybe we need somebody to look at it before we...
Well, I think the idea, Kenny, was really to run a new drain line, not dig up the basement floor, but we put one overhead and just run, it's something we can do ourselves, is what I was kind of told. So we can save a lot of money doing it that way.
still not smart. I mean, it's discounting car
Do you
rent.
sign yours, Timothy?
Berman election.
I don't think, but, you know, because everything's going to be down to the south, down by Old 227 is where it is, so yeah. No, I don't think we will. But we will have the restrooms here open Friday night from, we probably just won't close. Yeah, I'm gonna be in and out, make sure. And we don't have kids jumping all over and taking swords into the furniture and having skateboard races inside.
If somebody could be here to...
I'm gonna come in and out.
You are,
Yeah,
thank you.
I'll be here. Unless I get trapped into the wine tent.
Well, I'm going to be there too. Your sisters will be there too. Oh,
That, no, I don't know.
oh.
Hey,
I thought he-
Mr. Mayor, Les is here.
Oh, Les, I'm sorry, come on up, bud. I was asking Phyllis, I said, the last one to come up, and I can't remember what the heck he wanted. Is it helping out Williams County? Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
They probably didn't catch it because Sharon signed it for the planning commission.
Lawrence Township.
But you need to sign it too.
Williams County tie-up.
Tie down here. Oh, here.
To the ground. And so they're,
I'm assuming this is just a small volunteer, you know, something similar to maybe what Ren would have, or
Yeah.
something like that.
Ren, Monroe.
Yeah.
So they're kind of reaching out. I got a call from the Ohio State Fire Marshal who, you know, if we had some things that we could part with, and we kind of looked around today, we probably got, 10 or 12 sections of 1.5-inch hose that would be 20-some years old, but it's been tested. And maybe a request that when we bought the new tanker, it was bigger than our previous tanker, but the drop tank on that tanker was only about 5 years old. And they would possibly like to, if nothing else, at least borrow that until their insurance and everything gets straightened around, and borrow that drop tank, that 1,800-gallon folder tank that we carry on the tankers. To have it be something that, a couple items that we would have, and I sent an email out today to the other local volunteer departments that if we can come up with caches and things that are just sort of laying around and not being used, it would be okay with Board of Works to, especially like a fire hose, to just donate them a fire hose, but the drop tank, this morning, he kind of said, yeah, that's something we probably could use and borrow and return, because they're hoping that in their insurance they'd be able to get stuff all replaced. But we've got a few items laying around.
We have hose here that we're not using, right?
Well, yeah, because we use
we
it
upsized
three-quarter upsize.
We upsized it to a bigger size.
This-
That's
the
the whole
only-
stuff.
The only thing we ever do is if the street department or water department or somebody wants to borrow, that's the borrow pile, a couple sections to pump water. So that would be my request for.
Would there be any value on that hose or not? Not really? Okay.
No, not.
I have no problem helping another community out at all.
Not at all.
What was the fire department name?
Florence
Florence
Township.
Township in Williams County.
It's up near Archbold. And then the other thing, Jeff will be up, I think, for road closure, but we're going to be celebrities. We're going to be part of a United Way video
video that they're doing for Safety Park and for...
This is for United Way?
It is United Way, but yeah,
That's the one I get.
does Jeff have a road closure there?
I get, yes, he did.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's kind of misleading, and he's right. Melissa kind of showed me the event form.
Yeah.
You know, we got down here day, month, year. When you look at this, it looks like it's October 6th of 2015.
Yeah.
Really,
Well,
it's June
that
the
might-
10th.
Well,
I don't know how those got
I don't know how they're
printed like
dated.
that, yeah.
Is that our open house? Because he may have already submitted a road closure for our October open house.
No, it's not, because this is street closing is North 7th Street from West End parking lot
Yeah.
to Nutman.
Yeah,
And
so
that's where you're talking, right?
that
Oh,
will
it does
be
say
Wednesday.
day, month, and year, but why did he do it that way?
It is, that's what
Uh-huh,
it says.
Something
uh-huh,
about
it is.
making a video for, making a video for United Way for single car promotion, so he'll bring...
So he's coming up tonight for that, that's council meeting?
So, you know, we'll look for some stuff around the station what we possibly can spare and kind of help us kind of clean up a little bit of the stuff. Okay, that's...
Okay,
have a motion?
everybody all set?
Or is that by consensus or
Yeah.
motion?
Sure. Yeah, sure. Is it by a motion or is it by consensus? huh?
It was by consensus. but everybody-
Whatever you want to put.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All in favor, there we go, how's that? Huh? Melissa, you got anything you want to bring up? We're kind of caught up here.
See if we can
I
ask.
have a list of just kind of reminder stuff. We do it now? or-
Sure, sure. If you have
If it's
to,
something that
if
needs to
it's
be at
something,
city council meeting, you can save it.
if it's something that needs approval of money, then we have to do it at
There's
council.
nothing today that needs approval of money.
You're learning. Want to do it now?
I think
If you have time at the end.
Yeah, I need to drive out there tonight after this.
There were about 25 out there last week.
Yeah, they started last night, or
Some of them are Fleetwoods,
Oh, they're bringing
clean and polished.
Sure.
Why
They're
don't you
bringing
come
their
check this out
shows
while you're
out.
here?
Yeah. I don't blame them.
Active Living Week is this week, and Winning with Wellness is an amazing schedule that everybody's seeing one of these.
Yep.
Do you need another one? You all good?
I don't have one. Thank you.
On Thursday, it's Tai Chi at 11.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Just a reminder about that. Also, a big thank you to all of our Main Street volunteers in the street department who are sweeping streets and keeping downtown look really good for
Painting curbs,
the
all that.
weekend, painting curbs.
That really looks
A new art in City Hall, beginning of the month, and Mary has a great new artist out there, so make sure you check that out before you leave.
Yeah, it's Karen
Looks
Flesh
very
from
nice.
Adams Central. She's Karen's art teacher at AC. Nice lady, nice lady.
A reminder, if you're not on Facebook, make sure you follow the city on Facebook and follow Main Street on Facebook. Every day we're posting new stuff, so check that out. And also a reminder about street closings on Friday. Madison Street between 1st and 3rd will be closed all day on Friday. We're going to encourage cars to not park on and move from 2nd Street starting at noon, and then 2nd Street will be closed starting at 3 o'clock
Friday.
Friday.
So what do they do from noon to 3?
I'm sorry.
What are they doing from noon to 3?
Where at, on Madison?
On 2nd.
On 2nd? I think they're placing,
Sculptures.
They're placing sculptures.
No,
There's
those are
more
gonna-
this year,
I
so-
think really they're placing them. They're starting Thursday on them.
It just seemed like last year there were that Friday, and it's already planned, but for hours nothing was going on the streets, yet it was closed. Then it kind of all happened at 3 or 4 or
Well,
5.
I'm not sure when. I think like Vinny's is going to have a little,
Tents are going to start being set up, and
I think the
sculptures
tents,
set up and arranged, and
tents
food
are on
booths,
Madison. Food booths are on Madison. Vinny's has a band that are going to play Friday night. There's a stage set up for that. That's the only thing I can think of on 2nd that's, going to happen before 3 o'clock. So,
And,
I guess what Melissa's gone by is what the sculpture tour committee
Has asked.
asked for. That's what they requested. Wes Kunzman's one that basically represented them.
like all the groups that are volunteering to take care of that. Do you need more groups yet for the park?
We do.
Unnamed park, by the way.
The unnamed park. Yes, we have Optimist Club has committed to the last week of the month, all summer. This week, the Adams County Historical Museum is taking care of the park. The second week of every month, we've had a family come forward and volunteer to do every week of the month for the rest of the summer. It's Heather Hillary, and I've not met her, but I spoke with her on the
Oh, that name.
so really the third week of every month this summer is what's currently open. So we're still taking volunteers. Jeremy and the street crew are kind enough to put a hose in the alley so that folks can use that and we don't have to be here to provide the hose.
Melissa,
Great.
Melissa doesn't. Melissa brings the hose from home, so she can help these people out.
In the interim we did and there was no problem.
Yeah, well, thank you. You know, what you just
The park is
reported
alive.
probably should be reported at the council meeting, really, because it's good information that we want the people to know about. So if you wouldn't mind repeating all that at the council.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Can I say something about the code books? Just so that they
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Go ahead, Phyllis.
Code books have been updated, but they're not for permanent yet until Tim reviews it and all the department heads review it yet. They will eventually be on the website. He'll have to prepare an ordinance first to get it adopted. So if there's anything you guys see in there that you think needs changed, let us know. And then Tim will prepare that ordinance to adopt it.
You reported that same information to the department heads, so they are also reviewing.
Do they have a time limit to review it?
We never
We
gave
never
it.
gave them one, but
Because if
Phyllis
you
can
give
send
them one,
that
they
in.
may
Yeah,
never get it done.
exactly, yeah, and that's what happened. Yeah, they say by the next, a month should be plenty of time, you think? So by the next department head meeting, they should have it reviewed.
By July.
Could you send out an email to that?
Well, you want to adjourn, John?
Yeah, that's fine, I think we're done.
Motion to adjourn?
Thank you.